All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another student interview. This is with one of our students, Ignacio. He got his agency in the construction niche to $10,000 a month in profit with our help. And one of the things you're going to learn from this guy is really that the leap from about $4,000 or $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month is a completely internal one. Once you've gotten a couple clients and you're at a stage where you can get them results and you got proof of concept, really the leap from those first few clients to getting to 10 grand a month isn't that much of a technical one. It really is just a mindset one, and he's a good testament of that. And this is what I preach on my channel all the time. Your standards direct your life. Your goals are just these pedestal items that don't really direct you, so you want to adopt a better standard instead of reaching for higher goals. And Ignacio did just that with our program, and we actually train you on setting standards, mindset, shifting your reality, these sorts of important topics when it comes to growing a truly successful business from the ground up. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome my friend Ignacio to the YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The entire purpose of these student interviews, though obviously it's an incredible plug for our online course, is really just to give you a perspective shift. I want you to understand what it means to run a thriving, sustainable business by shifting your mentality and getting obsessed with a certain industry and obsessed with marketing. Once you do those two things, it's really hard to fail, and the student interviews on this channel hopefully are a testament to that. So thank you once again for staying loyal to the channel. Leave a like down below, comment any of your thoughts from this video, and once again, without further ado, for the second time, welcome Ignacio, my friend, to the channel. All right, Ignacio, what's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing? How's
Doing
everything?
Great. It's great to have you on the channel, man. That's a nice rubber chicken you have in the background, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's actually an honor to be here. Yeah, so cool.
It's a pleasure, man. It's so cool to get to watch people like you. It's always cool because it's just a real business owner, and it's like I definitely think one of the cool things is I get lost in the business end of it, my end, but really to think about just what the principles and things that we teach have done for you and your business. It's very cool. So I'm always honored.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you taking some time out of your day now to be on the channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just for those of you who haven't watched many of these before, it's just a very real conversation. I mean, we've probably been off camera and not recording for just a minute or two. And I said, hey, let me just flip on the recorder. And so, I've got just a couple questions that I like to ask just to spark conversation and just, be as honest and transparent with people as you can be, man.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do. Absolutely.
So tell me, dude, what are the current challenges you're facing right now? And tell us a bit about your experience in growing your agency with us.
Okay.
And just give some advice,
Cool. Okay. So when I first joined your program, there were lots of things that happened at the same time, but I joined your program around when this pandemic quarantine thing was starting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a time of a lot of uncertainty, and that's one of the things that really got to me, and one of the things that I really was able to move forward within your program and within the group, etc. So yeah, I started my agency. It was on October 2019. And things were moving really, really slow. They were going okay, but everything changed when we started working together. Like I said, it was a couple of things that happened at the same time. But basically, one of the big changes for me was first of all, the mindset side of things that really changed everything for me. It was it's not a work done, but it's absolutely a work in progress. And you can absolutely tell the difference. So that's one big thing. And the other big thing is I come from a more traditional, in a sense, sort of entrepreneurship. So all this marketing agency model, very remote, very automated, etc., had always been like this dream I had, but it always seemed like too good to be true, to be honest. So
yeah, like kind of oversold and overmarketed. Maybe it was like, I don't know if I believe it.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And then you try to jump into it, and you're like, I don't know, this doesn't seem to it just seemed too good to be true. So that was one of the big myths that I debunked while going through your program. And that's one of the big things that let me scale like really, really fast. As soon as I
Awesome.
made that click, things just started happening like right away. So when I first joined your program, I was like at maybe like 3K a month or something
That's about
around
right.
that.
That sounds about right. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around those lines. And 2 months later, I was doing 10K a month. This is revenue. And now we are at 12 a month this month. So it's been really amazing. And yeah, it's been, I've answered all over the place, but there's so many cool things that happened through the program that
That's awesome.
really changed a lot of things inside my head.
That's awesome. And all due respect for the viewers too, like as much as this makes our program look good, I just want to hear like just raw, like what are some of the problems you face in that time? Like what are some of the issues that you ran into, and like what issues you're running into now? Like let's not paint too much of a dream here, like give us the reality, man. Like I almost want to just open up the doors a little bit of like Ignacio's like reality. Like what are some of the struggles right now as the business, and if there's none, dude, there's freaking none. But if there are,
Okay.
like hear them, I want to hear more.
Awesome. Okay. So right now, one of the biggest challenges we had when scaling, especially when you scale so fast, is that I used to do things. I'm still doing lots of things on my own. So I wasn't contracting the like the service or I don't know how you say that correctly, but the deliverables, I guess, or I wasn't outsourcing the service, and we were doing everything around like ourselves, myself, and that it starts catching up with you if you don't organize things and do things like very, very organized. It catches up really quick. So yeah, that's one of the things I have right now, is that since I have so many clients that come from a couple of months back, we're like going through this transition from like very manual way of doing things to a very automated way of doing things. So all the new clients we have, we can just funnel them through our processes and our SOPs and whatnot. And it works like a charm. And once you start finding like really good contractors, everything changes. And that was another big one for me, by the way.
That's a big one for a lot of people. I would love if you would speak to that if you're done with your point, actually.
Yeah, it's and I don't know if it was something I had in my head, but I was like really my mind was like really set on this is really hard, this is not going to be easy, and of course it wasn't, as long as I had that mentality. But once that changed, I've been finding lots of amazing contractors I've been working with.
Yes.
And that's one of the big game changers.
Dude, I'm telling you, it really is. You make it as hard as you want to make it. Like, especially with contractors.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Like, speak a bit more to that. I think that's one of the big gaps people don't realize is like Ignacio, if I can speak for you, your business, you're really connecting clients with your team. You're not even, at this point, you're probably just selling and managing their accounts, right?
Exactly. That's all I'm doing. Yeah. I do some of the strategy, obviously. And I guess, on my point of view, at least, and I guess it depends on your business, but I still have to do a lot of strategy, and I like that part of it.
Yes.
But once I'm done with like setting all the like thinking about the strategy and getting all things together, it's just completely outsourced. It's handled by somebody else. And you're done basically with the client. So that's really cool. That's really cool. But then that's one of the things that sounds like really I don't know, so like a fairy tale to some degree, right?
One of those fairy tales that you heard that you were like,
Yeah, but then when you start working on it, you realize that it's feasible, absolutely. But it requires a lot of work, and that's one of the things that maybe like you overlook when you're like going through these business models. But then they do require a lot of work, like any business. But there's lots of automation and lots of standardization. Is that a word?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a word. Yeah. Okay. So there's lots of things that you can do to make your business run a lot smoothly. So yeah, that was a big one.
That's very cool, man. So to summarize so far, I feel like some of the key points, if you're a beginner and watching this, or if you're an existing agency owner, I like to do like nutshells just so people are like
Yeah.
if they're taking notes or whatever. Two things so far. One, Ignacio came in at 3,000, maybe 4,000 a month. I don't remember the exact number, but I remember seeing you there. And you really said it's a mindset thing. Like, and I actually had a recent conversation with one of our students so we've got our 6-figure program, which is what you've gone through. We have our 7-figure program where we help people scale with ads, build a team, go to that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month level, right? And what I've seen from those students and you is the same thing. They have this weird perception of the complexity of it that just doesn't exist once you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
They think it's more complex than it is. So speak a little bit to like what Ignacio version 1 was like and how he viewed this and what you kind of view it like now. Like, I think that'd be a really cool contrast for people to hear.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with my generation, I guess. But yeah, I grew up thinking that business was really hard. It wasn't something that was like impossible to do, but it was this really hard thing, and this myth that only a very small percentage of people are successful in business.
Yes.
So as long as you grow with that in your head, you're gonna make things always a lot more complicated than they are. And that was one of the big things, because once you, and I'm a true believer in that you create your own reality, and that your thoughts, your mind, the way you think, create your reality. So as long as you're stuck in thinking that things are hard and that things are very complex, well, they are going to be really hard and really complex.
You're going to make them that way. You're going to make it that way subconsciously, and you're going to sabotage it.
Absolutely, yeah. That's like 100% true. But then once you start detaching from those thoughts and you start seeing things in a different way, well, things start happening in a different way as well. So once I was able to click, not completely, it's a work in progress, but once you start clicking out of it, things just start moving the way you want them to move. So it's one of the weird things about business, and to be talking about so much about mindset, but it does have a huge impact, especially when you are a solopreneur. And when your company depends on you. I mean, you have a bad day, your company's going to have a bad day. You think business is hard, your company is going to be having a tough time, etc. So yeah, that's huge. I guess that's my biggest advice, or the biggest thing that happened to me that I can say that had a huge impact was that clicking mentality.
Wow. Dude, and it's so cool to hear people say that, because that's just such a common theme, man. Like, that's what I see over and over and over again. And hopefully, I'm going to start to sound like a broken record on these interviews, but that's what every freaking student says. Like, that's what they all say. They don't say anything different. They never do. And for some reason, people are still looking for technical solutions to their problems.
Yeah.
It really is just standards you have and just the way you view it. And like, the way you view it is the way that it becomes, and hey, and don't let me pressure you into getting too personal here, but are there any other areas of your life where, like, as your business kind of grew and your standards kind of rose there, other areas kind of followed suit? I know you're making a move to Europe soon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all starts falling in place, basically, because if you need to change like your mindset in one area of your life, you're gonna end up changing your mindset in all the areas of your life. So because it's just a change in the way you think. So it does like change your life. I mean, this sounds again like a very bold statement, but it does, and it's very simple. I mean, if you change the way you think, you change the way you live. So it applies to business, to life, whatnot. So yeah, I'm actually moving to Europe by the next year. It's something I always wanted to do. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I'm from Colombia. And of course, coming from Colombia, we do have a lot of additional challenges and limitations, etc. And it has always been a dream of my wife and I to move to Portugal, to Europe. And we always had that on the back of our heads, like, okay, as soon as we can, we'll do it. As soon as we can, we'll do it.
Right, like whenever it's possible, maybe one day we'll do it. Yeah.
Exactly. But that statement, like, whenever we can, we'll do it, means you're never going to do it, because you're never going to be able to do it unless you decide to do it.
Yep.
So again, it's just a change in the way you think, but also when you have your business scaling like the way we are, and you have the confidence that you can do this from anywhere with clients from anywhere in the world. So you do have the peace of mind that you can take these sort of decisions like really much easier that it would have been if my business wasn't the way that, it is right now. So it changes everything. I mean, this is it's just a mindset thing that changes your life. It's completely unbelievable, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's so cool, dude. Another question I have for you, were there ever any times in this process where you questioned everything, where you were just like, this is just not what I should do? Like, were there any moments like that?
Every day, I still do. I mean, that's what, yeah. I think it's going to be hard for that to go away. Absolutely. Like completely.
Yeah.
And you're going to still question things, and there's days that I wake up and I say like, shit, am I like living in sorry, I don't know if I could curse from here, but.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Is this a fantasy? Am I living in a fantasy? Again, I have to come back and go through my process again. That's why I said like mindset, it's not something that happens like one day. It's just a seed that it's planted, and it gets better every day. But yeah, I still question things, and it's not like it gets easier from one point on. It gets easier as soon as you go on. But absolutely, you get moments when you question everything, and you feel like giving up, or just changing business, or changing niches, or I mean, you question everything, and I guess that's just part of the way it is.
Dude, that's so good. And I want to speak to that too. Like, I'm always in that state of like, there's like a 5% voice in my head. It used to be like 20, 30% maybe, but now it's reduced, but it's still there, and it will always be there. And some days that's the only voice that's talking in my head. Some days that's the only thing I hear is this what I should do? You know, it's the days where you were about to close a huge client and then they came around, they said no. It's the days where, you know, you'll never get rid of that feeling. And I don't want to paint a picture like that I even have gotten rid of that feeling. I never want people to feel like that's the dream. I feel like that's completely unfair of me to do that to anybody, because then you're going to hit that and you're going to be like, oh, am I normal? Is that okay? That's just not fair of any coach or any educator. I think it's really important that I pulled that out of Ignacio. It's like, it's not always comfortable, and you will not always have that feeling of certainty. So let me ask you this is kind of going to be an interesting question. If you lack that certainty, and not that you lack the certainty, not that you don't think you should be doing this, but if you lack that feeling of like, this is 110% what I should be doing all the time, what drives you to keep it going?
I guess, well, that's a tricky question, but I guess it has some like a couple of parts to it to the answer. First of all, I guess you need to have like that big motivator and that like drive that drives everything you do in life. And in my case, it's my family for sure, like my wife, and that's why I do the things I do in life. So that's a big part of it. But the other part of it is through experience in life, I discovered that, and it's one trait of my personality, but I guess it happens to everybody. I've been really quick to quit sometimes, or to judge very quickly. So I start a business, and if it doesn't go as planned really fast, I just conclude that it doesn't work. But then you need to, I mean, you figure out in life through these sort of things that you need to push through. And that's the only thing that gets you to the other side. I mean, this is where people just like start a business and blow it out of the park, are counted with a few fingers, you know? So it's, you need to push through. You need to just, there's sometimes you need to block that voice in your head and just keep moving forward, and the results will show up eventually. So yeah, those are, I guess those are the two parts to that question.
Wow, that's freaking good, man. I've actually never heard it put that way. That's good for me even to hear. That's solid stuff. It's solid. Cool. So let me ask, what's the next step for you as you grow this thing? And unfortunately, you know, I don't let these things get too long. If you guys want a part 2, just comment. So I'll give us another, 10, 15 minutes here. What's the next step? Like how do you grow this thing to that next level? What is that next level? What's stopping you from doing that? Like, tell us more about that.
Okay. So, like I mentioned before, I started like in a very traditional niche, and I have very, very traditional clients.
Define traditional real quick, because the tradition, I hear that word and it means different things to different people. So define that for your niche real quick.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When I say traditional, I mean like classic, like old school. So these are like very corporate-like clients. They're very slow. They have a lot of people in every meeting, and then go through meetings for everything and whatnot. So it's really tricky to get to like to combine a really automated, very digital thing, and try to connect that with a very, very old school way of doing work. So my clients, even like before the quarantine and the pandemic, they weren't doing any like video calls. So this is new for them. So this is how old school they are.
Wow.
So that's one big challenge. And I guess my next steps are, I'm gonna move into more I guess international clients. And one of the reason is because I'm completely focused on local clients right now. Part of how things have gone. But yeah, that's one big move. And the other one is I definitely want to move into the information or content. I don't know how you say it, like info products. I really like to teach and to share my experiences. That's one of the big next moves for me myself. Like what regards to myself specifically. But then for my agency, I just doing really like we're working really hard to get everything as systemized as possible, so that everything can be completely managed remotely. Especially since I'm going to be moving out of Colombia in a couple months. So yeah, I'm still on the way there. Like I said, since I have lots of old clients, and again, my clients are so old school. This is not a thing you can do overnight. And I guess that's one of the things that everybody should keep in mind, because if you're gonna go out and get some, I guess digitally, I don't like these words, but I guess it's the best way to say it, but digitally native or digitally, I don't know, linked people, it's gonna be easier than if you're gonna go after a niche that it's really, really not digital at all, and that's gonna be a big thing. So I guess that's going to be one of the big things for my agency. And as long as we get to systemize everything, we get to replicate this model in lots of countries. So yeah, that's our next moves, I guess.
That's awesome. That is so cool, man. It's always cool. And I think we'll about wrap up. I mean, this is just a very straight to the point, very solid interview. If you guys want to find Ignacio, he's in our Facebook group. If you're in the program, he's in the program. Reach out to him. Yeah, I think one of the key takeaways for me, man, is you stop thinking like somebody who's in it just for the cash. You're obviously enjoying it, but you're getting obsessed with your industry, man. Like your industry, who you're serving. And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot is like you have to get just obsessed with your industry. And it really feels to me as I'm talking about, interestingly enough, as you're talking about the downsides of your niche, the downsides of it, the cons, I'm hearing a level of expertise in your voice about the typical person in your niche, and you understand them. And this is just one thing that people don't understand. Like Ignacio, before, honestly, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I want to see if I'm right in assuming this about you. Before you are a Facebook ads guy, you are an expert in the industry that you're serving. Am I correct or
Yeah. I skipped that part. That's a very important one. I'm niche obsessed.
Yes.
And like really obsessed. Everybody that asks me for advice in entrepreneurship, it's the first thing I do. You need to know your client or your user from A to Z. I mean, that's
great advice.
The very first thing. And once you know your customer, once you know your customer, you know how to talk to them, you know how to sell, you know everything, you know what they do, you know what their pains are, etc. So yeah, I'm really niche obsessed, and I've been working in this particular niche for the past 10 years. So I do have a lot of expertise in my industry, and that's one of the things that allowed us to have this exponential growth, because one of the things that happened is that we created selling strategies that didn't exist before the pandemic. And we were able to take 10% market share on all the residential sales in Colombia for 3 months. So we went from not having like any market share at all to having 10% market share of a country. So that's huge. But I mean, it's huge. It's huge in share terms. Overall, wasn't that much because like nobody was selling much anyway. But the thing is, once you know your industry, you're able to do lots of cool things. So you don't depend on the guy you hire to do the ads for you. You're able to like creatively get to lots of new things to be able to get lots of results for your industry and your clients. And once you're like, you position yourself as an industry, I guess, leader in what you do, things changed really rapidly. I mean, once that happened for us, once we took that bite of that market share back in April, we were getting like lots of clients just pouring in. We didn't have to go out and get them. And actually we haven't done many, like a lot of outreach or like going after clients, just because we had such good results in a couple months that clients just poured in, basically.
That's exactly what I tell people to do freaking all the time, and they just won't listen to me.
Yeah.
Just become the expert, dude. Just become the expert. Have authority and trust in your authority. Especially I talked to somebody today, somebody scheduled a call, interested in the program and everything. And we got him in, and he's been going for 5 years, and he's never cracked $5,000 a month because he's always done cold outreach, man. That's all he's ever done. It's all he's ever known. It's cold email, cold call. And it can work for some industries. If you're a total expert, maybe they recognize your name or something. So there's some sort of already existing rapport. But dude, like inbound is the way to go. That is how you grow an agency. That is how you grow a business. That is how you're going to grow your course business. If you're going to start educating your authority, people buy into you, Ignacio. They buy into you. And so to be the authority and to be the expert is a very smart move on your part. And I'm excited to see where this goes for you. I have no doubt, over the long term, you guys will be breaking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month with your business. And I'm here to help you in that journey any way that I can. So yeah, any sort of a wrap up? I mean, if somebody's watching at scratch, is there anything that you want to tell that person? And then we'll kind of end it there.
I'm just going to say that education is key. I've been a very hesitant person to like going to courses for some ridiculous reason. And that's the key to everything, basically. That's the key to understanding how this works. That's the key to, it's not the answer, but that's what opens the gate for you to just like start and get your own knowledge, get everything. I mean, education is the most important thing. And I truly believe that. That's
awesome. And I'm not paying him to say that. It's just genuine. And I appreciate that, Ignacio, because we do. And I love what I get to do for people like you. So it's very cool.
Awesome.
Well, sweet. Thanks for your time, my friend. Let's have a little unrecorded off-camera conversation, but this has been a pleasure to have you on the channel. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Let's have you back when you're at 50 grand, dude.
Yeah, I hope that's really soon. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Awesome.